Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors and Winston Chester. Glad to hear this Tuesday morning, the final Tuesday of February. Weather today brought to us by Haney Technical Center. High of 75, low of 52. So just a great day weather-wise. We're still drying out from that deluge we had on Sunday. I don't know about y'all. We just had a bunch of rain. Talk about Jeff. He had a lot of it, and the ground just soaking. But I was thinking about driving into work this morning. February is always our wettest month. And it's just a lot of rain coming in, but today looks good. Water temperature is 61. The river readings, speaking of a lot of water and all, the Apalachicola is at 16.5 at Bluntstown reading. It had gotten up there close to 18 and 19 over the weekend, but it dropped down, but it went back up, and it's going to stay that way. You know, it looks like for a couple of days anyway. It's going to stay pretty high. And it's Choctawhatchee. It is in getting close to the flood stage. It's at a 11.3, and a lot of that rain, got up in, didn't quite get in South Alabama much as we got here on the coast. It looked like if you watch it on a radar, it's like just a train just coming straight through at an angle. It wasn't coming down, it wasn't coming up, it was just coming across. It was just fascinating watching it, and I thought it never would end. Our tide brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Their motto is "When Carrying Counts." Looking at a low tide this morning at 3:52. I've got a strong tide, 1.8 foot, and a high tide at 6:07. So I have a great incoming tide. Marine forecast, it looks like starting off on the east, but we're going to swing around to the northwest at 5 to 10. So coming out of both directions there. All right, takes care of our weather. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Glad you're with Panhandle Outdoors this morning. We're going to start off this segment as always. Most of the time we start off this segment with pictures, and they just keep coming in. But this first one, we have to give credit to a bunch of good guys. This was my quail hunt this past weekend, and folks, I had a wonderful time. It really was. These quail. I was trying to get a group picture of us guys, but somehow we forgot to do it. We took a group picture Friday night, but it was dark, and also it was just me and a quail here. I apologize for that, but these quails look better than those guys I was with anyway. So we had a great time. I want to get that video together for you and show you probably my schedule is I'm booked out this week. Probably next week before I get a video, but I will show you the picture. Had a great time in old Gaston County annual quail hunt up there. All right, now let's go. Wrapping up deer season for the most part. A lot of people having at the end of the season good shooting. Evan Zachary, good job, Evan. He's been on here before now. Evan's a good little hunter. That's a nice buck there. Look at that big old smile on his face. Okay, sheephead. My buddy Philip Berry, his wife Ruth sent this to me on email, and Ruth, thank you for sending it. Philip, that's a nice sheephead. You're getting sheephead season started off good. That's a pretty healthy fish right there. Good job, Philip Berry. Now, this is real dark, but that's Mickey McCormick. I know they took it at night, but if you can see the width, if you just look at the width of that buck, that is a nice buck, Mickey McCormick up there in Wausau. All right. Speaking of sheephead, he's not waiting for the season to start. This is another young man I know. This is Brycey Knowles. The Knowles family, they're in my book. He's one of the descendants of the Knowles family. He's got him with a little spear gun. He got him a nice sheephead there. Good job, Brycey. All right. Now let's go a couple of announcements right here. This is Saturday. The Biophilia Center is having a black bear program. I haven't been to that before, but it's going to be 11 and 12:30. Okay, and they do charge admission of that. And then this other announcement I want to show you, we'll talk more about this wild game. This is March the 8th for Andrea Wright, the young lady who had the hunting accident, and deer, hog, catfish, turkey at the old Vernon High School cafeteria. That'll be March the 8th, and we'll talk more about that later, okay? I take care of some pictures and announcements and all. And I was asked the other day also, where can they get the book full box, the new print that's come out, okay? Let's go over on the beach side, on the other side of Hathaway Bridge from us would be Sunjammers. We'll have some in. Okay, here in town will be C&G Sporting Goods. In Port St. Joe would be Blue Water Outriggers. in Apalachicola, the downtown bookstore. That little bookstore they sold a lot of my books, and 90% of those books are sold to people coming down from Atlanta. The lady tells me, and but if you're in that area, you want to get one there. And also up in the northern part of the area, if you want to ride with Dothan, the Southern Outdoor Sports up there, they do a good job, sell a lot of books up there. So that's the places. I had someone ask me the other day, "Hey, Coach, what's your favorite story in that book?" And that's like asking what's my favorite grandchild. It's just, I mean, I love all of them, and I love all those stories. It's just fascinating. It is, and I found myself last night flipping through it, and one of the things one sort of jumped up at me last night. I was thinking about Coy Raphael and how he described. Now, I interviewed him in the 90s, and he lived a healthy, I want to say he lived to 96, and had a wonderful, healthy life. He ate fish every day just about it. But he still vividly recalled about panthers when he was a little kid, when the Raphael family lived at the Auburn community on Tyndall, and he still told. When he told me that story, I could just feel it. He was talking about as a kid they would walk to church and all, and at night, and the oldest kids would have a torch and all, and there's always some panthers in that area when they're walking from their home to the church in the middle of the community. And he could still recall that panther scream and how he described it and all. And you don't get those stories anymore. He just had so much emotion in it. You almost see the fear in his eyes. As a kid, he was just petrified of it. But his dad, he always reassured him. His dad always took some extra fish and threw the fish out in the bushes because he told Coy, he said, all that panther wants is something to eat, so we're going to give him something to eat. And the panther said, Coy said, I sure didn't want that panther to eat me. So those stories like that and when World War, another thing too, real quick, talking about him, when World War II, because the Raphael family got kicked off of, off of Tyndall Base, and we'll talk about that later. But when the war ended, there's something I was thinking also, interviewing all those men that had been to World War II, and you could almost, every one of them to a T, when you started talking to them, you could still see the relief and the joy they felt that when the war ended, how good they just felt. Physically, mentally, and couldn't wait to get back here to Panhandle, to start their families, and to see their girlfriends, their mom and dads, and you could just feel it. Every man would talk about that. They couldn't wait when that war ended. They were so happy, and yet all of them, when they got back here, every one of them also wanted to do one other thing, and that was they wanted to go fishing. And there's a story in there where 5 of those men, and I got to interview one of them, Mr. Charles Baldwin. When they got here, they went fishing in St. Andrew Bay, and they were just shark fishing. It was 1946, and they finally got processed out and got back, and they were high school buddies, and we got back together and went fishing, and they called it that big old sawfish, and we got the picture, and I actually put that picture on a postcard. It was like a 1,000-pound sawfish. They caught it right in St. Andrew Bay, but here Mr. Baldwin talked about they were in a 12-foot boat, and that had 5 grown men in a 12-foot boat, and that sawfish was just taking them all over St. Andrew Bay, and they just holding on. They just take turns holding on. But those stories like that, it fascinated me, and I think a lot of people like that too. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. So let's go and we'll get ready. Let's go and take a break now, and we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. Jeff and I just sitting here talking. Remember now, Jeff uploads just to YouTube every day, Panhandle Outdoors. So if you have relatives in other part of the country or friends that want to check in, especially if you have some real exciting news, which I hope is every day, but some days it seems like it's better than others on different video and all. Call them up and say, hey, watch Panhandle Outdoors on YouTube and see that show of that big fish or that big buck or whatever. So you can share that with them and all. So that works out really good, and we've got a good group of YouTube viewers across the country, and we're proud of that and thankful of that. Now let's talk about this quail hunting I went on this past weekend. It's a weekend experience for me, and I hope I can explain my feelings on it. I don't know. I was driving in again this morning thinking, I always drive in and sort of rehearse what I'm going to say and all, and I was thinking, I don't know how to describe the feeling I have, which part is the best part of this weekend. I don't know, just driving up there in anticipation is fun. Then when I get there on a Friday afternoon and Friday night, everybody gathers together, and that fellowship on Friday night, they're telling stories that we've heard 100 times, and just seeing everybody and everybody doing and all hugging. We hug each other now. We shake hands and hug. So when it was in their 20s, we wouldn't dare done that. But as you get older, you're more apt to do that. That's fun. Special night on Friday night. Then we have a great cookout, and sit around and talk to about 11 or 12 o'clock, and then so we don't stay up past 12. So then Saturday morning, getting up, having a big breakfast and anticipating that quail hunt and the dogs and just a hunt itself. The fellas, we don't all. Some of the guys, we don't all. We had 17 guys show up Friday night. Only about 6 of us really went quail hunting, but just that hunt itself, watching the dogs work. I don't know what's the most fun, watching those dogs work, or when that quail flushes up and getting a good shot at the quail. And you think all that's fun, but then I get home and clean those quail, and we always have a Sunday dinner with my family. Both my kids and their kids all come out, and that's special in itself because they all love eating quail. And quail tastes good. It really, to me, is the best tasting game of any kind of game. You're talking about ducks and dove and gator meat and venison and all that. The best tasting game meat, by any stretch of imagination, is a good wild quail, and we cook them a special way. So I wanted to show you. Now the actual hunting video, it's going to take most of the show, so I actually, like I said, won't show that probably until next Monday. We'll have it on. But I did put a video together of cooking a quail, how the quail's cook and all. Gail helps prepare it. She does a great job on it, and it tastes delicious. So I'm going to show you today. We're going to cover on how to cook it, and then after that we'll come back and talk some more. But then the actual video though won't be till next week. All right. So let's go ahead, Jeff, and roll this video. All right, yesterday I had a great opportunity to go quail hunting with my old high school buddies, and we always have enough quail for each one of us to bring some home. Now, I decided this time with this trip, I want to go ahead and I was taking a drive back yesterday. I want to go ahead and show you folks how how I've always cooked our quail. Now, I'm not trying to be a cooking show or anything like that. I'm just showing you how we do it and how we enjoy doing it. It's real simple. And what we do now overnight, we just soak it, marinate it in salsa, along with some chicken marinade sauce. Okay, so this is soaked overnight. I cleaned them yesterday afternoon. They soaked overnight. You can see them in there. Okay, nice. And I'm gonna show you more of them later, but they've soaked good. Now, what we're gonna do next, I'm taking out these jalapenos. I place them on the cutting board. I'm gonna cut off the tip first. And don't scratch your eyes after you do this. And then we're just going to cut these jalapenos in half, because what we're going to do, we're going to put the jalapenos on the quail, okay? This is just a preparation step. You see I've already cut some, all right? Okay, now next step, you're going to take them out of the marinade, and you're going to flip them over to get there right here on the breast, okay? Some good meat right there. Then you're going to take 2 jalapenos, okay? And then next, you're going to take toothpicks. I'm sorry, you're going to take the bacon, okay? You're going to put the bacon on one end here, and you're going to actually wrap that bacon around them, okay? That's going to hold the jalapenos there. Then you take your toothpick, and we always wet the toothpick because they're going to burn anyway, so you want them to sort of hold and put on each side of the bacon and each side of the jalapeno, okay? And then you're going to sit them over here. That's how you're going to make them up. Like I said, you're just going to take them out of marinade. Okay. Okay, then you, like I say, you get 2 jalapenos, one on each side here. Then you get a slice of bacon. Bacon, what this bacon does is sort of helps keep them moist. It holds everything together and gives them some flavoring too. Okay, so you got it wrapped. And you get your toothpicks out. You got the quail pretty well wrapped up, okay? And we set them over here. And that's really all there is to it. And we're going to have 8 quail. So, we're going to be I think we're going to be in good shape. I won't eat with 7. That'll leave 1 with the rest of the party. Alright, first thing I did was spray the grill, okay? We're going to put them on here. come apart if you're not careful. You want to try to, I'm going to straighten them up after I get them all on here. Line them up. Already got roll call. That one's coming apart, so I might redo that one, which is not unusual. I'm going to sort of turn them. That's one right here. All right, we're going to redo this one. Okay. All right, that's a little cubby quail right there. Got them right over charcoal. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on them. All right, we're going to cook them for a while. Okay, they've been cooking about 15 minutes. We're going to take a look at them. I've turned them one time. They look pretty good. Don't have a lot of charcoal. They're going to be cooking good. I don't want to leave the top off too long. But they're looking good. They're looking real good. And that's how Panhandle Outdoors cooks the quail. Now, the great thing about it, we were able to harvest the quail, clean the quail, and cook them. You should always eat what you harvest. So that's what we're doing, Panhandle Outdoors. Hi, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed it. They really taste good, and it sort of holds the moisture. You know, a lot of times when you cook on grill, you worry about the meat drying out and all, but one thing I learned about charcoal cooking way back in college, because we cooked out a lot. We couldn't afford electricity on the stove, so we all just built fires to cook out. Anyway, you want that charcoal now. Most people make the mistake, especially when you get into it, lighting that charcoal, and just as soon as it gets hot and it's sort of half whitish and all, people put the meat on. You got to wait till that charcoal gets completely white and ashy, and then that's an even heat. And of course, we learned that over the years, and I love cooking on charcoal. So those birds taste great. And someone asked me, can you just buy quail? I'm assuming you can, but I don't ever see it. They do have those small Cornish game hens, but they're not the same. But if you know where you can buy quail or something, let me know, and I'll pass the information on. All right, let's look at a fish and game forecast brought to us by Mark Coward of Edgewater Beach Realty, 832-6000. We're looking at our time this morning from 8:24 to 10:24, and tonight from 8:53 to 10:53. That 2-hour block right there, 8:53 to 10:53. Okay. Now, all kinds of things coming up. Springtime is here. I'm looking at a water temperature, and the water temperature started out in February at 53 degrees, and I'm looking at today. Well, it's already up to 61. That's that's 8 degrees, and this week it may go up some more. So we might get a 9-degree jump just in the month of February. But March is when you're really going to see it. When we gets on up there another 5 or 6, that's going to get to that level. We'll talk about it a lot. Okay. Let's speaking of the things going on, I mentioned this last week on the show, the 11th annual Wild Game Feast, March 1st and 2nd. It's going to be Camo Sunday at Holmes Creek Baptist Church. The tournament is Saturday at 2 p.m. And dinner, you need to call them about the dinner. I think it might be too late, but Camo worship at 10:30, and the prizes. Let me tell you, I got right here a list of prizes. Grand prize: a Honda Rancher 420 ATV, a Benelli 12-gauge shotgun. Wow, many other door prizes. Okay, and all those folks up in Chipley, we appreciate the invitation and all. All right. Also, talking about doing things with young kids and all. We did this a good while along. When we first started on the show, we started talking about how important it was to take kids to the outdoors, and we haven't done this in a while. We haven't shown you our Pokio, Panhandle Outdoor kids enjoying the outdoors. So don't forget about sending us pictures. I got tickled a while ago. I knew I was going to talk about Pokio. I started looking through all the pictures we've had here just during the hunting season, and there's a bunch of pictures here from young people. Today, for example, we have one of the nose boy got a big old sheep head. Evan Zachary had a nice buck. That's just today. So, I think we do a good job getting kids in the outdoors. So let's continue to do that. All right, tomorrow now we'll have Captain Ken Paramore be on the show. Wednesday, you're gonna really enjoy this. Have a great video red fishing, some winter red fishing. Whitney gets to go red fishing with Justin and Matt, and they did a great video off of that Wednesday. Then the rest of the week we'll be giving stuff away and all. the surf fishing video we talked about yesterday. It's not too early now to make sure you start getting your surf fishing rods and all lined up like we talked about yesterday. But check your line, and also I'm going to do this myself this year. I'm going to experiment maybe with some different line and all and see if I could increase my casting in the further. If you got the longer the rod, the further you can increase it. And but I'm going to maybe try some different kind of lines on just casting some really long distance and all. So, but make sure that you get out and practice a little bit. We're in a little casting unit in class now. It's amazing, got 18-year-old kids. You would think they know how to cast, but I can promise you about 70% of those kids don't know how to cast. You wouldn't think that would be true around here, but it is. So practice your casting and all that. A red horse sucker, we're going to talk about that coming up. We got, of course, March is right around the corner. We've got red horse sucker. We've got the Spanish mackerel coming in, and of course now the sheephead. All those three of those fish will be taken off this month. So if that's any of your things you want to do, be sure you get ready to do that this weekend. This is last week of hunting and all. It's regular hunting season, of course, is over now. We should be into muzzle loading, so this should be a good week to wrap it up. Okay. Now a couple other things before we close out. Make sure I brought this morning right here. High-speed sighted and boating deaths. That's the accident we talked about. Make sure the safety that you're well aware of the boating safety and all, and it's not a bad idea to go over a book like this every now and then just to go through it. But that situation there, they just was flying about midnight, and they didn't see where they were going and all. And so I clipped this out of the paper and I put this in my file in my classroom. It adds my file about this thick on boating accidents we've had here in the Florida Panhandle, and a lot of them have fatalities in them, and just here locally. So the kids will study these and see what caused it, and most of the time it's driver carelessness and bad things like that. So be aware of it, and we'll talk more about that later. I'm gonna have to wrap it up today. It's been I always consider it an honor to come in on do this show and spread this good news about the outdoors with you. So I appreciate you watching it, and want you to have a great day today, and you be sure and do something good for somebody. And God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.